And of course, before we begin our first session, ladies and gentlemen, it is my absolute pleasure to welcome someone who needs no introduction. Leading the Payments Association of South Africa with vision and dedication, she has been instrumental in driving collaboration and innovation across the industry. Ladies and gentlemen, please join me in welcoming to the stage the Chief Executive Officer of PASA, Ghita Erling, to deliver the official opening remarks for PIPC 2025.
It is my great privilege to welcome you to PIPC, and such a pleasure to see so many familiar and new faces here. Thank you for being here. I was reflecting in preparing my opening remarks about when I last stood on the stage 2 years ago doing the opening remarks for PIPC 2023. And you might remember that that event fell immediately after the 7th of October events in Israel and Gaza and changed the world dramatically. And I stood on this stage, none of us knowing what change it would bring, saying, I'm so grateful that we as a community in payments can still come together across multiple different countries and talk to each other about payments. And it's interesting to reflect beyond that pivotal moment, and we've seen a few others in the last few days, around how much actually has changed since we last got together at a PIPC. The world feels like it is fragmented further, and you'll hear a lot of talk about the geopolitical impact on payments in today's stage. On the South African front, we've got the GNU, so we've got the Government of National Unity. Very interesting for me, last year was listening to 2 years ago, listening to our international speakers and the fascinating experience of load shedding, which is just no longer an event anymore in our lives. And perhaps equally pivotal at the last PIPC was when then Deputy Governor of the Reserve Bank, Kuben Naidoo, did his welcome on the stage. And he spoke about how the Reserve Bank was choosing to get more involved in payments in the interests of financial inclusion. And that has led to a lot of big changes in our industry. First, the very well ventilated and understood payment ecosystem modernization program, which again will get lots of time and discussion on the stage today, and the imminent acquisition by the Reserve Bank of 50% of what is now called Pay Inc., but was previously BankServe Africa. In that context, and in my traditional way of dealing every elephant in the room, I am very confident there will be future PIPCs. I am not sure there will be the PASA International Payments Conference again. There may well be the PIB International Payments Conference. There may be the PBSA International Payments Conference. There may be P something else International Payments Conference. But I am fairly sure that we as a community are going to want to keep this function and this event and will want to be together again. But I just want to take a moment then to reflect and celebrate on what we have here. We have around 780 payment practitioners, a vibrant community spanning multiple sectors, multiple businesses and disciplines with a common interest in a core infrastructure which is foundational to our economy and the good of the people in South Africa. We've been joined by international thought leaders who are going to share their experience and their expertise. And on that note, I just want to take this opportunity to thank our sponsors, our exhibitors, everybody who's traveled to be with us, our amazing lineup on speakers, all of you for taking 2 days out of your diary, and the organizing team for the exceptional work that they've done in getting us to this point. One of the things that I love most about my job is the opportunity to engage with and have meaningful conversations with such a diverse, interesting group of people. Today and tomorrow give us all the opportunity to do a lot more of that. Enjoy it. Thank you.